Analysis of the movie Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, 1997. Plot. In the movie, Wayne Szalinski, Rick Moranis, the clumsy inventor, tries to use his shrinking machine to reduce a sculpture commissioned by his wife. However, the machine malfunctions and accidentally shrinks Wayne, his brother Gordon, and their respective wives. Now tiny, they must face various household challenges and find a way to get their children's attention to ask for help. The movie keeps the fun and creative spirit typical of the franchise, showing everyday situations from the perspective of miniature people. Positive points. Fun sequel for fans of the franchise, maintaining the physical humor and absurd situations the characters face. Introduction of new characters and the notable debut of Mila Kunis in a prominent role. Keeps Wayne Szalinski's inventive spirit, which remains the central charm of the series. Negative points. Plot is considered repetitive compared to the previous films. Humor is less effective. Some jokes don't land as well as in the earlier movies. Released directly to home video, lacking the impact of a theatrical release, which affected production and critical reception. Doesn't add major new elements to the franchise, serving more as a complement than a standout installment. Fun facts. Direct-to-video release. Unlike the first two movies, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves was released directly to home video in 1997, skipping theaters entirely. Mila Kunis debut. This film marked the first major role for Mila Kunis, who played Jill, one of Jenny's friends. Wayne Szalinski's inventions. The movie continues to showcase Wayne's creative inventions, which remain the central charm of the series. Miniature household adventures. Most of the movie's humor comes from seeing ordinary household objects as giant obstacles, offering a fun perspective on everyday life. Script changes. The film went through several script adjustments and character changes before release, which contributed to its different tone compared to the theatrical installments. Lessons from the movie. Teamwork. The film shows the importance of working together to overcome challenges, even when situations seem impossible. Creativity and invention. Wayne Szalinski teaches that curiosity and creativity can lead to unexpected solutions, but they also require responsibility. Facing problems practically. The characters must use reasoning and improvisation to solve the problems that arise from being miniaturized. Family values. The story emphasizes the importance of family unity and caring for loved ones. Seeing the world from a different perspective. Being small in the film symbolizes how changing your perspective can help notice details and problems that normally go unnoticed. The movie Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, 1997, was produced with a budget of approximately $7 million, but it was released directly to home video and therefore does not have official box office earnings. Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves 1997 received largely negative reviews, with a 25% critic score and a 27% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, indicating that both critics and viewers found it inferior to the previous films in the franchise. Now here's our opinion.
The movie Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves 1997 was a surprise for me. I only discovered it recently and had no idea that a third film in the franchise even existed. I only found out when I was making a video about the first movie. Later, I understood why this film had slipped past me. It went straight to home video and was not released in theaters like the first two films, which is why it had gone unnoticed. Even so, I was curious to watch the third film in the franchise, so I decided to give it a chance, excited to see how the story would continue. However, I was a bit disappointed to see that the production seemed to have a much lower budget compared to the first two films, which showed in the visual effects and set design, falling short of the quality of the previous movies. Nevertheless, the film had some surprises. The only familiar face I saw was Rick Moranis, reprising his role as the main character, while the rest of the cast consists of different actors. This gives the movie a sense of renewal, but also makes it feel somewhat disconnected from the first two films. For example, the character Diana Szalinski, played by Eve Borden, replaced Marcia Strassman, who played the character in the previous films. I found the new actress more charismatic and expressive, bringing a fresh energy to the role despite the change in casting. There's also a returning character, the baby from the second film, now a little older, Adam Szalinski. It's interesting to see the character's growth and how the movie tries to maintain continuity with the previous films. Two actresses in particular caught my attention. The first one, I recognized her by her smile and thought, I've seen that smile somewhere before. It's Allison Mack, who played the reporter in the TV series Smallville. Unfortunately, today she faces legal troubles due to a crime involving human trafficking. The second is another child actress who appears briefly, Mila Kunis, who would later become very famous. Here we see her as a child, and it's interesting to notice her talent even at this early stage of her career. Despite being a low-budget movie, it features a cast that would go on to become famous, which adds a certain charm to the production, especially for those watching it years later. Regarding the story, the premise is interesting. This time, the adventure is experienced by Wayne Szalinski, his wife, and his friends, bringing a fresh perspective to the franchise. In the previous films, the children always took the lead in the adventures, but here, the focus shifts to other characters, which I thought was a good idea. This change adds a new dynamic to the story while still keeping the sense of adventure and exploration within the house. We follow Wayne Szalinski, his wife, and friends who have been shrunk down to miniature size as they try to survive the dangers inside their own home. As always, the movie carries some family lessons, such as teamwork, courage, and creativity in unexpected situations. The problem, aside from the low budget, is the story development. Although the characters are intelligent, like Wayne Szalinski, who is a scientist, the decisions they make are often reckless and even absurd, breaking the logic you would expect from experienced characters and making some scenes hard to believe. For example, at one point, they decide to climb down from a piece of furniture using a Hot Wheels car and a child-made ramp, with no safety measures at all, a completely risky decision that highlights the film's attempt to create tension and adventure in a way that feels unrealistic. Later, they make an even worse decision. They enter a bubble-blowing machine and end up flying around the house at an absurd height, again, acting recklessly. Seeing the older, supposedly intelligent characters make these kinds of choices made it difficult for me to fully believe in the story and emotionally invest in certain scenes. Without a doubt, this is the weakest movie in the franchise, not only because of the budget, but also due to the poor story development. Still, it can be enjoyable if watched with a childlike perspective or simply by appreciating the fun of the exaggerated situations. For fans of the franchise, it's interesting as a curiosity or a supplement, but it doesn't reach the charm and inventiveness of the first two films. That's all for now. Session closed. If all goes well, see you in the next video. Until then.
Szalinski.